if you want to get serious about Counter-Strike, you're gonna need to learn some utility. Whereas in Valorante, nade nerds are often shamed for being so-called lineup Larrys, utility is the very lifeblood of Counter-Strike, and it has been for forever.
So they punished the mid push, but still couldn't win the rounds.
Whoa! Bialy, styling. Are you serious?
Going all the way back to Source and 1.6, capital G gamers have been innovating optimal ways to smoke, flash, and nade each other into oblivion. But in recent years, this arms race has gone sort of nuclear. In fact, it's gotten to the point where the nades people throw aren't just optimal, they're impossible.
Goodness.
Okay, hang on. Everyone witness him.
Okay. Is that an Xbox or a hinge?
Is that a hinge smoke?
No way.
No. That's a hinge smoke from Pitt.
Ban him. Ban him right now.
The question is, why? Well, as you can imagine, there are a few factors. Increased player count, the online era, the natural progression of the esports, but there was also something else, or rather, someone else. A Danish 5-stack who revolutionized utility, who made spams, stacks, and dorky technical executes not only crucial at every stage of competition, but cool.
These grenades could do all of the work for them. 3 of them going over the wall, 1 on Exist, 1 on Crims. Everybody's catching fire. Twist goes down, and there it is. They close it right out.
High fives all around and well earned for Astralis. That strategy is so good, and I think Fnatic was just shell-shocked. They had no idea what to do when they saw those smokes fly over the walls.
Today, we're gonna talk about the history of Counter-Strike utility, hone in on the moment when Astralis changed everything, and ask the question, when did Counter-Strike become this big-brained? And with CS2 on the horizon, where does it go from here?
Oh yeah, that's how you use it, Jordan. That's how you do it, baby.
All right, so before we start launching smokes to the stars, I'd like to remind you all to please like this video and sub to the channel. It really does help. Okay, so if you've been paying attention to CSGO for the past 2 to 3 years, you've probably noticed that utility has gone sort of haywire. From freeze time lineups to standardized one-ways, the rate at which nade usage has evolved is genuinely unprecedented. Or at least, that's what everyone thinks. For those who don't know, lineups existed back in 1.6, and while the level of intricacy was way below what it is today, they weren't entirely primitive. I sat down with reputed analyst, creator, and all-around utility god Mahone to explain.
Even back in 1.6, like I remember there was a video I watched before. It was Moto from Team 3D. I remember it was a match on Nuke where he talked about like nade stacking ramp at the start of the round to establish control. And you'd have like 3-4 guys throwing HEs at ramp right at the start of the round on T side to establish that like, hey, we're taking this area of the map.
Years later, in Source, you'd see special emphasis on flashes intended to break crossfires.
Yep, they are going to be taken up right now. Pex and AZK. Pex is going to try to cross the long A. He does, but there is a member inside of the bomb site. That Shoxy takes him down. RPK tries to spam one, but Smith gets the frag trade by Adren. 1 versus 2. Can he do it to prevent the tie round? Never mind. The nade sending him to the grave.
And then in 2012, CSGO came out. The first new Counter-Strike in years united the scene. And you'd think that with all of the 1.6 and Source freaks in one place, people would innovate like crazy. But that's not really what happened. Instead, competitors essentially superimposed their old Source and 1.6 lineups onto Global Offensive. In fact, it wasn't really until new maps came along that Counter-Strikers found real motivation to come up with new and exciting strats. In those early years of asking people to think about the game beyond moving and shooting, things were kind of rough.
Watching right side of the box, but a second smoke come out from Fur. He gets out there, the throw missed. It missed. It didn't go into the window. It landed below, so Snacks has the vision above and Fur goes down. Huge misplay, and Taz is going to take advantage as well as Cold drops. Neo's going to join in from Connector. And it's all just a blunder in mid. Taco gets 1 kill back, but that is all. 1 versus 4, Snacks closing it out.
People were struggling with fairly simple lineups, and even just some of the options that people had. Like for example, so many nades back then were running throws or just standing throws, right? Whereas today, it's like we have jump throws and we have, wall strafe throws, and then we also have like these sideways running throws. It's very different.
Now, this isn't to say that everyone's nades were dog shit or that there weren't tons of sick, swanky utility plays that made their way onto Reddit.
Und man sieht bei Oronix,
oh my god, der Quadruple Kill mit der Nade! What the f?
Merely that, for a long time, utility was sort of seen as this nifty, supplementary thing, completely secondary to skills like aim and movement. Sure, it could help make gunfights a little bit easier, but never outright replace them, right?
Astralis got 4 HE grenades. They're going to nade the window, and they're going to use a smoke, nade the window, and there could be 2 kills coming out here. This could actually be a nightmare. Here they come, the airstrike, tactical nukes coming in, both kills landing. Oh my goodness.
At their peak, Astralis dominated CSGO. 3 back-to-back majors, a Grand Slam, and innumerable pro leagues, blasts, and ECSs. They were, and still are, the GOATs of the game. But their real legacy is the fact that they basically changed the way we think about utility forever.
They're trying to remedy those sort of things and make it a little less hardcore in terms of that experience. They try to avoid the nades and then they take 150 damage, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever seen anything like it? Let's come in with a triple kill as well. Get them out of here.
To be clear, I am not suggesting that Astralis invented utility as we know it, or that every modern lineup can be traced back to them. But no one optimized nade usage quite like Astralis did.
Does he know? Can't see it. The damage is coming out. They've read the play. The nade is good though.
I think right around that time, there's a tool called Shadow GG that came out where it showed you the heat maps of players and stuff like that. I really think that in combination with reading the heat maps and employing this idea of nade stacking areas, they're able to just see like where people like to play a lot and where common spots would be. And then they'd just be like, let's find a nade lineup for that where we can throw like 2 to 3 nades and basically obliterate the person.
And it wasn't just nade stacks. From cheeky sight gambles to novel plant spots to hellish executes, Astralis took a game that many considered to be all about clicking on heads and turned it into 3D chess.
These grenades could do all of the work for them. 3 of them going over the wall, 1 on Exist, 1 on Crims. Everybody's catching fire. Twist goes down, and there it is. They close it right out.
According to analyst Benjamin Doughty, Astralis were inflicting a whopping 28.6 utility damage per round by the end of 2018, the highest of any roster in recorded CSGO history.
I think for a while, teams, obviously understood the idea of map control, taking the right duels, having some nice executes. But I think what Astralis did was basically just put the seed in teams' mind that whenever you have these pieces of utility, to always try to find a way to maximize it in a way where it's going to punish the opponents.
Bring more.
This is so smart. Oh, this is huge. Doji's throwing a nade into the corner just as the bomb's going to go off. They're both going to go down. Get grained on. Doja with the dunk. That's so smart.
Astralis changed CSGO forever by bringing layers upon layers of strategy into an already strategic game. What's more, even after Astralis eventually fell off, COVID happened. Competitive Counter-Strike was thrust online, and everyone was sitting around at home with nothing better to do than hop into practice servers and, well, theorycraft. Astralis made Tier 1 Counter-Strike competitors feel so outclassed that they had no choice but to adapt and pull out innovations of their own. Which is why the next phase of the utility arms race was to develop lineups that specifically countered other lineups.
Okay, they set the trap. Top of banana. Nice grenades on the money.
Think about it. If you know your opponent is only gonna throw rock, you're gonna only throw paper. But then they see that coming and start throwing scissors. It's a vicious cycle, but it's led to some truly incredible breakthroughs in utility over the past couple of years. Thanks in part to Astralis, Counter-Strike is played very differently today than it was even just a few years ago. And I don't just mean at the professional level. It used to be that the window smoke was an innovative, esoteric nerd strat. Now it's something that most gold novas know how to do. From instant smokes to one-ways to glitch mollies, it isn't just the skill ceiling on Util that's gone up, but the skill floor.
Gone are the days where you can just, I'm just gonna AK armor, no nades, I'm just gonna fight people straight up, right? Because it's like now it's like the enemy team are just gonna molly you, force you into bad situations, or they're gonna flash you where it's like you don't even have a chance.
So, louder for those in the back. If you want to get serious about Counter-Strike in the year of our Lord Gaben 2023, you're gonna need to learn some lineups. Otherwise, you're just gonna get smoked. Literally. In fact, m0NESY, the prodigy that many are heralding as the next great Counter-Strike superstar, is as skilled at movement and aiming as he is obsessed with game-breaking utility.
Aim here, nade like this. You can see around the smoke them.
And the beautiful thing about all of this is that Util has always been a part of the game's DNA. Learning it is obtuse and complicated, sure, but that's what makes it so satisfying. Other games have chosen to let players skip straight to the end of the journey, but CS holds true to the idea that developing an innovative setup should come with the reward of getting to blow everyone away once you bust it out for the first time. And with CS2 on the way, things are bound to get even crazier. Not only are Valve making it so that HEs and bullets temporarily disperse smokes, but the blooms themselves are more sophisticated. Utility usage is going to become infinitely more complicated as Valve have upped the ante in terms of how Util interacts with players, the map, and most importantly, itself.
It's kind of this rock, paper, scissors effect where you have a molly that gets canceled out by a smoke, but that smoke can also be canceled by a nade. Not necessarily canceled though, because it does come back, but it's more so you're not just stuck behind the smoke. There's actually something you can do about it. And I think it's going to really change certain situations in ways that we didn't really think about and nobody has really thought of yet.
Oh, this is where a grenade would be marvelous. Look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Peekaboo! Oh, you did!
Yes! That's what we're talking about.
Look at how smokes or smoke-like effects work in other games. They are solid pods of smoke or gas or whatever Omen's purple juice is. The point is that they are fixed, immutable objects that nothing can interact with until they fade away. Valve didn't have to change anything for CS2. No one expected anything other than the same utility we've been used to for years. But I think it's safe to say that Valve wouldn't have put in all the effort required to completely revolutionize smoke mechanics if the community hadn't arms raced them to the nth degree in the first place.
So I think it's just really a different era of what we have available like under our belts in terms of resources, because I think even like workshop maps and stuff like that stuff didn't exist when CSGO first came out. But then with CS2 now, it's like you can kind of imagine that all these things, that all the learnings that we've applied over the last 10 years, they're going to come back, or not they're going to come back, but they're going to continue to exist and even be improved upon.
So to return to the question posed at the outset, when exactly did Counter-Strike become this big-brained? The short answer is that it was a long process that began at the dawn of the franchise. But the real answer is that the last few years took utility to the moon and broke Counter-Strike so hard that Valve was forced to change the game to keep up with their players. And we wouldn't have it any other way.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique, bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.